It's your boy, the Crypto Goon, and shout out to all my crypto goons for pulling up once again. XLM is having a breakout moment. We talked about this. We've been talking about this for months, and it is going parabolic. Now, currently, XLM is trading at 32 cents. But remember when I told you a couple months ago where it was going to go and where it was going to head. So let's rewind that tape. Is going to have a breakout to the downside, right? So you will most likely see something like this, and then a breakdown. Okay, so I'm actually looking for this, like how I talked about in that trading view posting, for it to come somewhere in this area, and then later on a move up, right? So I like to use the fib, so I'll break that out really quick. So, I don't even have to use the fib, and I can see where it's going to go. Somewhere in between this 618 and this 786. This price action that we see right here getting choppy. So, based on this is a bullish pattern. This overall larger pattern on this monthly, which when you use the larger time frames, it's a lot more accurate, a lot more easier to predict in the lower term than the lower time frames. But we're just not there yet with XLM. Now, one of the best things that you can learn how to do is to know where they're going, and you can use where they've been to actually plan your entries and exits. Now, we were using this last low and this previous high to determine where it has been and where it is going. Now, the way in the previous video a couple months ago that I was able to pretty much tell the future, you can call it what you want, was using the Fibonacci. Now, currently I have the Fibonacci reversed, but I'll reverse it to its natural state. And as you can see here, we came down to the 50 and we kind of dropped down to the 618. We had a pin bar drop down on the monthly chart. Now, we've hit the area where we said it was going to hit. And now we've had this breakout and this reversal at this point. Again, when it comes to cryptocurrencies generally like to reverse at the 50, but sometimes they will come down to the 618. Now, this is accurate about, I would say, 95% of the time. Now, to plan our first target, right? Some of us may liquidate this. Some of us may hold on to XLM long term. I do both, right? I have some that I hold on to that I put into a cold wallet. Others I do, short-term trades. But especially during these bull markets, it may be, till about August, right? So right now we're in May, so I may hold on to some till about August and liquidate my position. Now, the first target, right? During this bull run, I get this question all the time. What we do, we reverse the Fibonacci from where we are currently. So I'm looking for, let me move this up to the exact top. So I'm looking for around $1.55 or so. This says $1.46, but I don't have it quite. Let me fix this right there. So about $1.50 to $1.55 this bull run by around August. Okay, that is where I'm looking for XLM to get to, right? And again, I always dollar cost average on the way up. I most definitely dollar cost average on the way down. I bought a bunch of XLM when we hit the 50, which is always, again, the 50 and the 618, they are always places where I, place buy entries. Okay. Now, the $1.50 or so, that will be our take profit, right? And we will most likely see a liquidation event right there. That will be a new high, with our previous high being around 91 cents. Okay. Now, there are several things that you want to pay attention to, especially when it comes to trading cryptocurrencies, because we want to stay away from, we want to stay away from the dumb money, right? We want to do the opposite of the dumb money, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency. Here's how you can track the dumb money. You come over here to Google Trends, you come over here to YouTube, and then you type in XLM Stellar Lumens. Okay. Now, as you can see right here, we are under 25. So nobody's talking about Stellar Lumens. This is the best place to be in the markets, right? Now, if you look here, when it reaches 100, as you can see, between November 24th and the 30th. So if we actually go back to XLM, November 20th and the 30th, right here, November 2024, this is the first, and this is December 24, okay? Because this is the monthly chart. So when the popularity grows,
we see liquidation. So, okay, so the popularity hit 100 right here. And then if you actually look at the chart, we saw liquidation. People started liquidating their positions because, as you know, once these cryptocurrencies go really, once they go parabolic, once they hit, large legs like this and start to get to the highs, that's when the dumb money rolls in. That's when your Coinbase, your Uphold wallet, your Trust wallet, whatever wallet you have, that's when they start shooting out notifications and it starts trending on social media. But by then, it is way too late. That is the reason why we utilize tools and we take advantage of these markets during corrections, okay? We buy at the bottom and we sell at the top. It is a very simple concept. And of course, if you actually believe in the technology, we hold on to some of these. Now, something that I want to flip over to, the total market cap. Okay, now this excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. I did a video on this of exactly what it was going to do before it did it. Let's check that out.
Cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So these are the altcoins. Again, the altcoins are setting up or just broke out of a triangle pattern, a bullish triangle pattern, as you can see here, okay?
Now, as you can see, we broke out of this triangle. I love my triangle patterns. They are very easy, or they're a lot easier to predict when using than other strategies, right? So as you can see, we had the breakout, then we had a move down, retesting that previous high. Well, it wasn't the highest high as far as the market cap goes, but we retested this level right here, and then we broke up as I said we would. Okay, so what normally happens is when it comes to cryptocurrency, as Bitcoin loses its dominance, right? So once Bitcoin makes a new high, right, it starts to lose dominance and money starts to pour into the altcoins. Okay, and then that is when we start seeing an expansion of the market cap when it comes to altcoins, and you will see a lot of money pouring into the top altcoins. That includes your XRP, your XLM, other altcoins that have great technology. You may see some meme coins go crazy, like your Shiba Inus and your Doge coins and things like that. But of course, we always stick with the ones that have actual technology and real world implementation, like XLM. Now, here's one other thing that I want to point out as far as Stellar goes. For some odd reason, XLM is starting to become a little bit more popular than XRP if you look at the actual volume, right? So right here in this article, it states XLM's bullish momentum contrasts with XRP's more modest 5.94% gain, pushing its price to $2.34. Although XRP saw a trading volume rise of 48.37% to 7.26 billion, Stellar's growth pace and percentage gains have captured market attention. Analysts point to XLM's consistent performance and increased real-world utility, key factors behind its recent edge. Over the past 72 hours, more than 50 million XLM were transacted, highlighting increased on-chain activity and growing use in cross-border payments. Now, again, over the past 72 hours, we've been at this over the past 6 months or so, right? Even the past, let's just say 3 months. The past 3 months, we were already taking positions because we already knew 3 months ago where XLM was going. And once it hit the area between that 50 and that 618, if you were trading along with me, we got in at a great price point. Again, pigs get slaughtered. The average person, they get slaughtered in these markets because they don't have this information. And I'm giving this information free to you all. And hopefully you all are taking advantage of it and actually using it. Now, again, because I get this question all the time, this bull run, $1.50 to $1.55. Once we get there, the notifications go out, and that's when we will see a pullback. Okay, so we will see something like this. We'll have to move up gradually, candles like this, a move up, and then we will see a pullback into the previous highs. And then that's when we will start building up, all over again. Now, I talked about this in previous videos, but I'll go ahead and throw this in there. Long term, of course, my favorite thing is a Fibonacci. Not this bull run, but years down the line, once this thing, again, how they talked about in the article, real world cross-border payments and liquidity, I'm looking for XLM to go to $14, $15 in that area somewhere. Now, again, just to throw this out there, when it comes to the Fibonacci, sometimes the 161, it's like a 50% chance we could hit $2.31, but I'm not banking on that. I'm going with what works consistently, which is the 141. That is $1.50 to $1.55. That is where I will take profit on the XLM that I keep on actually on the exchange. Everything else is in a cold wallet. I use Trezor for my cold wallet. That's where my long-term holdings are. Okay, so I just want to just throw that out there to you all. I hope this is something that helps. So just looking at the crypto bubbles, as you can see, everything is pretty much in the green. As markets are starting to change and adjust, as we saw with Donald Trump, he made a deal with China, or they're working on a deal. They have a temporary deal in place right now, so that caused the markets to go crazy. So as you can see on the hour, the day, the week, and the month, we're in the green. And I see a lot of meme coins here. I stay away from those personally. It's pretty much like gambling, sports betting, whatever you want to call it. They're not really my thing. I try to stick to things that actually have real world utility. Now, one that we talked about, okay, is the SUI. Okay, we talked about this last week. We talked about this last month. We talked about this the month before, 3 months ago, right? If you caught the SUI play, shout out to you. Of course, XRP, we're up 22.3%. ADA is up 28%. Chainlink is up 30.5%. There are a few here that we talked about before that are moving in the directions that we said that they would move. And the only way we were able to take advantage of a lot of these is because we knew during the corrections where they were going to turn around. And then once they got to those areas, we got in, and now most of us should be in profit, even a little bit on these. Okay. And the one thing that I love about cryptocurrency is you can get 25, 30, 40, 50% gain on your money fairly quickly. But anyway, I appreciate all my crypto goons for tapping in, and thanks for showing love. We're on the road to 10K subscribers. Crypto Goon out.